There's something happening here.
And it's happening in the Bay Area Radio Hall of Fame studio at CHRS Radio Central in Alameda, where tonight we will be presenting the 2021 inductees into the Bay Area Radio Hall of Fame. Our hosts tonight are Ben Fong-Torres, radio historian and class member of the BARHOF class of 2010, along with KCBS's Kim Wonderley, BARHOF class of 2011, with some help from Leonard Shapiro, Executive Director of the Bay Area Radio Hall of Fame. And now, here's Ben Fong-Torres.
Thank you, Steve. Ah, yes, that familiar chime saying Wonderley.
That's
I'm
me.
Ben Fong-Torres with Kim Wonderley here in the Radio Hall of Fame at Radio Central in Alameda to help with the announcements of the new class of the Radio Hall of Fame. And we have our pal Len Shapiro to lend more than a hand.
Thank you very much, Ben. Well, thank you guys for coming in and helping us share the chores to introduce this year's class of BARHOF. And we'll get started right away with the newscaster category, and that will go right over to Kim Wonderley.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Newscaster this year goes to a colleague of mine. It's Holly Kwan. You know, she has been the cornerstone of excellence at KCBS as both a reporter and anchor. Holly came to reporting very naturally as a teenager. In fact, she was involved in Youth News. That was an Oakland-based news radio magazine. She even covered the 1984 Democratic Convention. And then she graduated SF State, began her career at KQED. She did things like covering gigantic stories like Loma Prieta, the Oakland Hills fires. That's before she joined KCBS, which happened in 1997. Now, Holly has collected a lot of awards over the years and recently, in fact, added AP's very prestigious Reporter of the Year honor. Now, she joins the Bay Area Radio Hall of Fame. So welcome, Holly.
Welcome, Ms. Kwan, and welcome, Mr. Shapiro, with our next category.
Where's Karnak when you need him? But we'll give this to you, Ben, the sportscaster.
Got it. Thank you, Len. Let me just peek in here. All right. For sportscaster, it is someone baseball has been very, very good to. Yes, Marty Lurie. He's been hosting pregame shows since 1997, beginning with the Oakland A's affiliate in Concord, then with the A's themselves, and finally with the Giants. And to think he was an attorney, a criminal attorney for 25 years until a burnout turned him to his childhood love of baseball. That love still burns and has led him now to the Radio Hall of Fame. Congratulations and adios pelota to Marty Lurie.
All right, our next category is specialty, and that's going to go to Kim.
All right, specialty. This is my favorite category. Yours too, Ben?
Yes, for two good reasons.
Yeah, for two good reasons. Let's take a look this year. Dana Jang. His specialty was to remain mainly behind the scenes, though, you know, at whatever radio station he might have been working at. As his brother, the musician John Jang, wrote, for nearly half a century, Dana has been a radio programmer and director at KOME, KSJO, K-Bay, and he founded KKUP in a field dominated by white radio programmers during the 70s. Dana Jang broke the color barrier. Now, Dana got into broadcasting at Foothill College back in 1971. Never has looked back. So welcome to the Hall of Fame. Well done, Dana Jang.
Yeah, well done indeed, Dana. Thank you. Kim and Len?
The next category is management, and that's over to Ben Fong-Torres.
All right. Okay. In the management slot, can there be a radio station programmer with the title of President? Yes, it's President Bill Luth, who presides over KDFC, the longtime classical station. He began as an announcer at KKHI, then moved to KDFC in 1997 and would become its operations and program director, leading it through numerous changes in ownership and a transition to public radio. Through it all, KDFC has maintained its position as one of the best classical radio stations in the country, thanks to the staff and to its unimpeachable president, Bill Luth. Welcome to the Hall of Fame. Len?
All right, here we go. The next category is going to be engineering, and that's going over to Kim.
Thank you, sir. You know, engineering, this is a category selected by the Bay Area chapter of the Society of Broadcast Engineers. This year, we welcome Eric Steinberg into the Hall of Fame. Now, beginning in 1977, Eric worked for 11 years in ABC radio and TV, including serving as the chief engineer at KGO AM and FM. From 1988 until 1991, he moved into management as vice president and GM with KDFC. Then he returned to engineering, spent 10 years with Susquehanna and Cumulus as the director of technical operations. That would cover KFOG, KNBR, The Ticket, and KSAN. He continues to do part-time consulting for radio stations. So welcome, Eric Steinberg.
Yes, indeed.
All right, we go right back to you, Kim, in the Pioneer Department, and here you go.
Thank you, sir. Now, the Pioneer category is selected by the board of directors at the Bay Area Radio Museum. This goes to Dennis Terry. He's a DJ and a former phone freak, which I'll explain. You know, Dennis was born Dennis Teresi, and he's identified in the documentary The Secret History of Hacking as an expert in social engineering. He learned enough about telephone jargon to trick the phone company employees into revealing confidential information. Phone freaks, it said, could actually manipulate call routing to make calls for free. Now, since 1976, Dennis has hosted an oldie show on KSJS in San Jose, where at one time he also operated a pirate radio station. That is quite a run. Congratulations, Dennis Terry, but don't call us, we'll call you.
And Dennis, you're under arrest. All right, Len.
All right, here we go with the Pioneer, the Legend Department, and that goes to Ben.
I win? Wow. Fantastic. Well, on behalf of my... Okay. All right. Let's see here who it is actually. All right. Well, the inductee comes from the top of the hill, Daly City. It's Tall Tom Campbell, who made a name for himself on KYA in the mid through the late 60s. His promotional stunts included listing his number in the phone book so Dennis Terry could call him, lending listeners anything from albums to his own car, and in response to some criticism one time, threatening to quit KYA and move to New York. Pending votes from his listeners. They came through and he stayed, but he did leave in 1970 working at KLOK and KNEW before trying his hand at television. But it's for KYA and all those Matthews TV and stereo spots for which he is a true and continuing broadcast legend. Tall Tom.
And he's still pretty active, Ben. He's all around the country doing his shtick in television, that's for sure. Our next category is talk show, program host, and that goes to Kim.
Gotcha. All right. Let's take a look here. I love him. It's Peter B. Collins. You know, Peter was born in Cincinnati with radio literally in his blood. He actually built a closed circuit station with his buddies on his high school campus. That's an enterprising young man. He attended Northwestern, then he became a late-night talk host on Chicago's WLS FM, landed in the Bay Area at KOME back in 1976. Then after a stint on KGO, Peter joined KRQR, The Rocker. He hosted a very successful morning show through the 80s, then returned to talk radio. He was the lone liberal in the wilderness for a long time at KNBR and then later at KSFO. Peter continues today on his subscription-driven Peter B. Collins show. So welcome to the Hall of Fame, Peter B. Collins.
Indeed.
We have a three-way tie for the program host of music, and the first one on that will go to Ben.
The mail these
A little
days.
slow on the draw. All right. Okay. First one. 20-something years ago, the slogan at KOIT was light rock, less talk. But morning anchor Jack Culp got the last word. He'd been on morning since 2005 after handling the afternoon shift there, and the show was earning high ratings. But new management pulled a switch in 2015 for a younger team. No problem. Jack moved over to The Breeze, also new, and kicked Coit's light rock rump. Jack also has lent his friendly pipes to KDBK and, back in the 80s, to K101. Now, welcome to the Radio Hall of Fame.
All right.
The second name group goes to Kim to announce.
Let's take a look here. Program host, music, part 2. Lamont Antonelli are being welcomed into the Hall of Fame after 32 years together. Amazing. First at San Jose's KSJO, and then there was a contract dispute back in 2002, and that led them to Mornings on the Bone, also known as KSAN. Lamont Hollywood came from radio in Canada, while Paul Tonelli was raised on Bay Area personalities like Don Sherwood and Russ the Moose Syracuse. Call letters and frequencies, they come and go, but Lamont and Tonelli, they remain a constant on 107.7, formerly 94.9. Congratulations, guys.
Contract dispute, unheard of.
I know, I've never heard of such a thing.
In radio,
Yeah,
of all
who would
places.
think?
Wow. All right, Len.
Our final one is going to Ben, and here you are.
Pretend you're happy. All right. Okay. Paul Lobster Wells. This is what I just read in the envelope. He crawls into the Bay Area Radio Hall of Fame now. Despite his college radio nickname, he has proven to be a most versatile broadcaster since joining KSJO in San Jose in 1974. He worked at 2 other stations in the South Bay, got to KSAN just as it was dying in the early 80s as a rock station, became morning anchor on The Rocker, and continues to host and produce shows on KVRV, The River in Santa Rosa and elsewhere. He also operates Flow Communications, a production company. So, welcome, Paul Wells.
All right.
Our final category is Legendary Station, and both of you guys are going to participate in it. So I'm going to call it a jump ball and throw up the envelope.
Well, I guess
Ha!
Ben got it. Figures.
All right. Oh, I'll share. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
The Legendary Station Award goes to, let me just double check it here. Oh, yes. KOME 98.5 FM in San Jose. Known for years as the KOME Spot. Spell it out, and it's rather crude. But it was also rock and roll, and that is what KOME epitomized.
Definitely. From 1971 to 82, it really rocked with DJs like Gene Mitchell, Dana Jang, Jonah Dens, Peter B. Collins, Dennis Erectus. What a perfect station for that particular moniker. And, of course, the beloved Lori Roberts. KOME was inducted into the Rock Radio Hall of Fame back in 2014, so now we are very pleased to welcome KOME into the Bay Area Radio Hall of Fame.
Yeah, congratulations, and congrats to everybody who is being inducted this year, and thank you, Len Shapiro.
Thanks, Len. It's great to see you.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate your help in making this 2021 Hall of Fame announcement.
All right. Now that we know who will be joining the Bay Area Radio Hall of Fame, it's time to celebrate. Please join CHRS and the Bay Area broadcast legends as we honor this year's inductees. The induction luncheon will be on Friday, September 24th, 12 noon at the Basque Cultural Center, 559 Railroad Avenue, top of the hill, South San Francisco. For reservations, please visit www.broadcastlegends.org. Thank you very much, Kim. It was fun.
It was a pleasure seeing you as always, Ben.
Always, yeah.
A lot of fun. And welcome everybody to the new Hall of Fame for 2021.
Take care.
Save the date. That's Friday, September 24th for the induction luncheon with the broadcast legends. This has been a CHRS Radio Dog production.